Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new around here, I'm Taylor and we do all kinds of stuff around here. Don't really have a niche. Love to travel to Disney, chat Disney. If you have been following along, you know that. Absolutely love to do plans with me's. I want to do like some resets coming soon, like maybe even a reset and plan for the month or the week, things like that. Just really sharing stuff that I love, product reviews for things that I spend my money on, and just stuff like that. Probably going to be doing like more chatty vlogs in the future. So if that's your vibe, stick around. Today we are going to be doing my March plan with me. I'm also going to be talking about how February went. I had set some intentions, set some goals in different areas of my life. How did that end up playing out for me? And what are my goals and intentions going into March? What kind of energy do I want to bring into the new month? And just kind of get to chatting about all of that. So I definitely want to get a tea first. I'm feeling like a green tea. My mom got me this super cute little honey container. I don't even know what you would call it, but it's really cute. It has like a little honeycomb to get the honey, and it's just so cute. So let's go get a tea to start, and then we'll chat about how February went. Acquired. I absolutely love this mug I got from Disney World. I haven't even done like a post-trip haul. If you have been following around, you've seen some of that content already roll out for my trip. But I had wanted this cup and I didn't get it when I had my chance to on Shop Disney. They were sold out by the time I was like, all right, go get it. It was gone and I was like, no, I was really bummed. And then I found it in Epcot, so I had to grab it. I don't know if you're really gonna be able to see with the light, but it's so cute. It's just got a little bit of detail from each of the parks. It's in this lovely cream and gold, which I really love cream. Has Mickey. Just so cute. So tea acquired. Let's chat February. So if you've been following along, you know that I am trying out Erin Condren's Focus Planner this year. I'm a huge Erin Condren person. In the past, I have used the life planners. I've done the coiled versions with different weekly layouts. I have done the portfolio version, and this year I'm trying the softbound Focus Planner. So I really, really like it. There's just something about how flexible it is, how large the font is on the pages, and the month at a glance just being very big. I've always really been drawn to that. Like even in college, I used to get those very thin where it's just month at a glance pages, and I really liked how big that layout was to kind of write whatever was going on that month. This kind of gives me that vibe and I really like it. So let's see what I had set out for February. If you followed along, I really didn't have too much content in my January and February plan with me, and that's just because going into the new year, my mind was just centered around this family vacation that we had at the end of January, beginning of February to Disney World. So really like that was my focus point, just getting ready for that trip, going to Disney World, and that was where all my energy was. So now as things have settled down, I really want to put more time and intention into planning. So for February, I did set some goals in different areas of my life, personal, work, and health. And then I had a little to do as well, a mantra. My mantra was, I find ways to soothe my spirit. I definitely feel like I embodied that mantra this month by doing things for myself, like personal, I had a goal of getting more outside time, and I'm happy to say that I did do that. In February in Texas, it's really hard to predict the weather. We just don't know if we're gonna get a freeze. It's hot, it's cold, it's just all over the place, but it has been a really beautiful month. The weather has been just lovely 50s, 60s, which is just my temp. I love that. Windy and getting cool at night. I love that so much. I'm very opposite of other people. Other people tend to hibernate in the winter, have lower energy and, not really want to do much. I'm very opposite of that. When it's cold, I feel very energized. I'm excited. I want to be outside, especially when it's cold and sunny. That is the perfect combination of weather for me. So that's usually when I'm very excited to be out versus in the summer, especially in Texas with 110-degree weather, insane humidity. I don't have very much energy. I really don't want to be outside. I just don't like sweating and I don't like to be outside in the heat. So I feel like January to May is like my time to thrive outside. So I did get more time outside, and whether that was just sitting outside reading, journaling, meditating, sitting out there with my dog and just getting some sun, it was really, really nice to say I did do that multiple days a week. And it was just so lovely. I also had a personal goal to set boundaries with my cell phone. I don't feel like I did too good on that this month. I feel like there's many reasons for that. Having traveled, I feel like I spent more time on my phone looking at the content that I filmed when I got back, and making content as well, like short form content. I also feel like I've just been more like inclined to like reach for my phone. Like if I'm doing something else, like I'm reading or I'm watching a movie, I feel myself like reaching for my phone, and that's just a habit I don't like to be in. So I do want to focus more on that going into March, but we'll kind of chat March goals in a minute. I also want to get back to having slow mornings. Slow mornings for me are so important. If you know me, you know that I'm a speech language pathologist. I work in pediatric home health. I have the pleasure of making my own schedule. So I really don't start my workday until like 11 a.m., which really leaves time for me to sleep in, because I am a night owl. I like to sleep in until at least 9, and I have a couple of hours in the morning just to myself. That's usually when I get some of those mental health things done for myself, like journaling, meditating, just some morning reflection, or just spending some quiet time outside. I do feel like I did do better with that, but I would even like to have like more time. And I think in the past, I've had this almost all or nothing mindset of like, you're gonna do everything, you're gonna journal and meditate or nothing, you know? But it's like, no, I need to just, whether I'm gonna go outside and set no like expectation, whatever feels good for me today, whether that's just sitting outside, whether that's having a cup of tea and just sitting with the dog, whether that's watching something on YouTube or on TV, whether that's journaling that day or meditating that day, whatever that looks like, and just being okay with it not having to be everything that feels like good on paper for my mental health, but rather just picking something genuinely that feels good in that moment, if that makes any sense. For work, I really wanted to reorganize we use an EMR system. Obviously, it's an electronic medical record system where we put everything for files for our patients and things like that. I really wanted to like organize my calendar view on there. It's a hot mess. If you work in home health, you know that your schedule is just like constantly changing. I might have a patient that I see on Monday and Wednesdays for 3 months, and then I see him on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so everything starts to get real janky on there, where it's just like, oh, I have all these patients listed on Monday that I don't see, and then I'm having to move them weekly. So that is something I really wanted to do. I did not get around to doing it. So I am going to focus on that this month and just get that reorganized to the best of my ability. I also wanted to finish some AAC applications. If you don't know what that is, it's alternative augmentative communication. These are systems that help people communicate using technology. Typically, there are other forms, but that is the form that I work most with. And so I am a huge advocate for that with the patients that I work with, and that takes a lot of my personal time. This is not something that I'm compensated for at work. And so I have to put the time aside to do that. And these applications take 6-8 hours. That's just the application portion. That's not all of the communication that goes into it, the prepping, and then needing to fix anything or fight with insurance. Like all of that is excess. So because it goes on my own time, I find that these applications are starting to pile up for me. I am very happy to say that I did complete half of them in the last 2 weeks. Huge monkey off my back. I do still have a few more to complete, so that's going to be another work focal point for me this coming month. And then I have a presentation that I've been asked to do at work for AAC, which is huge. I have not done a presentation at work. I have not done a presentation since grad school, so I'm nervous, but I'm also excited. I'm mostly just really nervous. So I really want to prep for that. I'm going to get kind of like the bones of my PowerPoint going in the next week. I want to get like in the next 2 weeks, really have my PowerPoint like almost completely laid out, all my talking points, and that way I can work with, we have a representative in our like region for AAC. Her and I are going to work closely together and meet on Friday afternoons to go over whatever it is that I have, review like any questions that I might have. She can give me some tips, and we can really make sure that that presentation is just perfect for when the time comes, which is the end of April. So I still have 2 months. Moving into health, I really wanted to just move my body more. I have a membership to a bar studio here called Pure Barre, which I have enjoyed, and I'm very grateful for the studio because it's really given me the motivation in the community to want to get back into regular daily movement, because for a long time I really just did not do anything physical, and there's a lot that goes into that and reasonings why, which maybe sometime I'll share in the future. But with that being said, I had a goal of at least going twice a week, and I can say that I did meet that goal. I'm very happy with that. And I also had a goal to get back to yoga. So while, like I said, Pure Barre has been a really kind of nice gateway back into working out for me. It's a lovely community to the at the studio that I go to. Yoga is my true love. If you know me, you know that as well. I used to do yoga every day for almost 6 years. So it's just a really, really big part of my life, or it was a big part of my life that I really miss. It's a relationship that I miss. It's, if you do yoga, you know what I'm talking about when I say relationship. Like, it's something that I can't really put into words when what it does for me in my life. And as I've been doing barre, I find myself just missing yoga the entire time. It's like I'm on a date with somebody and thinking about somebody else the whole entire time. It's seriously like that. So I just know that my body, my mind, my spirit are just craving being back in that yoga space. And I'm happy to say that I did join a new studio, which offers not only barre, if I do want to still do that, but yoga and kickboxing, which if you know me, you also know I loved kickboxing. For a couple of years, I did that, and that was just a huge stress relief for me, a stress relief workout for me. They have weightlifting, they have all kinds of stuff, heated classes, not heated classes, and they are right next to a juice bar. So super, I love that community too. It just gives me very core power yoga vibes. If you've ever been there, that's the studio that I used to go to when I lived in Honolulu. And there was just a vibe about it that I really loved. And that's the vibe that I get from this place. So I'm excited to try that. I'm going to be closing out my time at Pure Barre. March will be my last month. And then I'm going to be kind of easing into the new studio. So I'm really excited to just bring yoga back on into my life. I have 2 classes scheduled for this coming weekend, and I'm just giddy. I'm so excited. And then I did want to meditate and or journal daily, which we spoke about. I can't say that I've done either of them daily, which I'm fine with. Like I said, I'm also trying to practice kind of just letting go of that all or nothing mindset. Meditating and journaling really saved me in a time in my life where I really needed to heal a lot of things, get grounded mentally, get grounded spiritually. And it really did save me. And it is something that I truly feel will change your life. If you gratitude journal and you meditate, that will change your life in so many profound ways that we can have a whole entire different conversation about that. And that's something that I do like to have in my life. And while I do meditate regularly, I found myself journaling less. So just trying to find a balance between those things, because even though it may not feel like I need these things right now so heavily in my life to change something, I think it's really important to keep practicing things that make you feel good, grounded, grateful, and just in a good headspace regularly, not just when you're down, right? But it's kind of one of those things, right? You're doing something for the long-term benefits, not necessarily for the benefit right in that moment, right? So anyway, that's February, and I'm happy with how February turned out. So I also wanted to organize my office closet, which I haven't done, and I'm thinking I might do a reset video and organize my office closet in my car, which is my second office. I really need to do some organization in there because all of my therapy materials live in my car, and my center console just doesn't have everything that I need, like hand lotion and just things that I would want easy access to, chapstick, lip gloss and stuff. It's just not in there. So I need to do that. So maybe I'll do a reset video. Let me know if that's something that you would be interested in watching, because I love watching those videos. So habits did well. I tracked those as well on the side in grid form here. So that's February. I also want to chat a little book haul or whatever, book review or whatever that I did in February. So or just maybe a quick chat, doesn't need to be a review. But I actually read quite a few books in February, which makes me really proud. I'm really happy. So let's chat the books that I read, shall we? Let me pull up my Goodreads. So I did invest. Andrew and I invested for each other Kindles for Valentine's Day, which I just thought was the perfect Valentine's gift for each other. So we each got each other Kindles, and we've just been nerding out and loving it so much. So I am reading Nettle and Bone on my Kindle right now. I'm going to finish that before the month is over. It's so good. Really, really into it. It is, and I will read the description, so at least you have that, right? After years of seeing her sister suffer at the hands of an abusive prince, Mara, the shy, convent-raised third-born daughter, has finally realized that no one is coming to their rescue. No one except for Mara herself. Seeking help from a powerful grave witch, Mara is offered the tools to kill a prince if she can complete 3 impossible tasks. But as is the way in tales of princes, witches, and daughters, the impossible is only the beginning. On her quest, Mara is joined by a grave witch, a reluctant fairy godmother, a strapping former knight, and a chicken possessed by a demon. Together, the 5 of them intend to be the hand that closes around the throat of the prince and frees Mara's family and their kingdom from its tyrannous ruler at last. It's actually really, really good. So a little fantasy there by T. Kingfisher. My husband reads a lot of her horror, and so I'm kind of excited to read a book by an author that he loves, because we read very different things. I don't really read horror. I'm kind of a chicken as I've gotten older. I used to love horror. That was my genre. That's my family's genre. No, not anymore. I'm like, if it messes with my peace, I'm not here for it. But with that being said, this fantasy is really good. I also read Colleen Hoover's Leila. That had me, at first I was kind of like, I don't know how I'm feeling about this. It's from a male's perspective, which was new. I don't know, got me feeling different types of ways. But in the end, of course, as she always does, last like 50 pages, you're just like, what? And I thought it was good. I know there's a lot of Colleen Hoover hate out there. You're not really going to get that from me. I'm not even going to give you stars on today's books, or the books that I finished. Just if you're interested in them, check them out, right? Whatever floats your boat. But I like Colleen Hoover. Don't have an issue with her. So with that being said, this one is a thriller. So similar to Verity. If you liked Verity, you might like Leila. It's an older book, but it's a ghost story. And let me give you a little bit of that because the description is kind of long. So when Leeds, that's the male character, when Leeds meets Leila, he's convinced he'll spend the rest of his life with her until an unexpected attack leaves Leila fighting for her life. After weeks in the hospital, Leila recovers physically, but the emotional and mental scarring has altered the woman that he fell in love with. In order to put their relationship back on track, Leeds whisks Leila away to a bed and breakfast where they first met. Once they arrive, Leila's behavior takes a bizarre turn, and that's just one of the inexplicable occurrences. Feeling distant from Leila, he soon finds solace in Willow, another guest of the B&B, I almost said Airbnb, of the B&B with whom he forms a connection through their shared concerns. As his curiosity for Willow grows, his decision to help her find answers puts him in direct conflict with Leila's well-being. Soon, Leeds realizes he needs to make a choice because he can't help both of them. So, again, ghost story. Check it out if you like. I thought it was very good. I also read The House in the Pines. Let me pull up that description. I almost forgot that because I started this book in January, but I was only 20 pages in. And then we went on vacation. I was like, I'm totally going to finish it before January ended. I didn't read it all. I was just on a Disney high. But with that being said, I did read it in February. So The House in the Pines is by Anna Reyes, or Anna. This is a thriller as well. So if you're in your thriller era like I am, you might really like this one. This was more psychological. Really one of those books where you're just like, what the hell is going on? And you keep reading and you're like, how is this book going to end? What is happening with this character? Where you're just like, I gotta know, right? So if you're into that, you might like this. Armed with only hazy memories, a woman who long ago witnessed her friend's sudden mysterious death has since spent her life trying to forget, sets out to track down answers. What she uncovers deep in the woods is hardly to be believed. Maya was a high school senior when her best friend Aubrey mysteriously dropped dead in front of a man named Frank, whom they've been spending time with all summer. 7 years later, Maya's living in Boston with a loving boyfriend and is kicking the secret addiction that has followed her to cope with what happened all those years ago. So her past comes back, rushing back to her when she sees a recent YouTube video in which a young woman suddenly drops dead in front of none other, the man Frank that her friend dropped dead in front of. So that being said, that's it. It's a long description. It's pretty good though. It was on Reese's book club pick, I think last year, some point in the fall is usually when they do their thrillers. That was really good. I also read Gillian McAllister's Just Another Missing Person. I've also read her Wrong Place, Wrong Time. That was a book I read a couple years ago. So good. So if you're into thrillers, again, this is a mystery. Jillian was a lawyer and she has, friends in the force. So her books are very crime oriented from a detective perspective or in the force perspective and things like that. So if you're into that, you'll probably really like her work. But Just Another Missing Person is very good. I really do like her writing style. She's a great author. I shared that I finished her book and that I loved it on Instagram, and she actually reposted it. And I just love when authors do that. It's just so personal. But anywho, I'll give you a little description. So 22-year-old Olivia has been missing for 1 day and counting. She was last seen on CCTV entering a dead-end valley and not coming back out again. Julia, the detective heading the search for Olivia, thinks she knows what to expect. A desperate family, a ticking clock, and long hours away from her husband and daughter. But she has no idea how close to home this case is going to get. Because the criminal at the heart of the disappearance has something she never expected. His weapon isn't a gun or a knife, it's a secret. Her worst one. And her family's safety depends on one thing. Julia must not find out what happened to Olivia and must frame somebody else for her murder. So it's very good. She really does these kind of time jumps too. In Wrong Place, Wrong Time, you were kind of jumping time. In this one, you're also jumping time, characters, not as much as in Wrong Place, Wrong Time, because obviously that book is centered around time, but it's in the title. But this one was really going kind of back in time and not ever forward, but back, and then counting it'd be 3 days missing, 6 months missing and stuff like that. So if you're into that, I really liked it. I thought it was good. So anywho, that's what I read in February. Let's get to planning for March. pretty much done with the dashboard setup, the month at a glance setup, habits, my grid page, habit tracker that I do. I'm not going to fill in any of the weekly page views, if you can see that with the lighting. Sorry, I'm like right in front of my window. It has the week of up here. So typically this is going to be where I put my schedule for work and the patients that I'm going to be seeing that day. So I'm really not going to be sharing this layout if you followed along last time, but there is a section here for notes and then some boxes here to check. So this is where I'm going to be doing like all work. So my work to-dos for that week, any notes, any reminders that I have, and then my patient schedule during the week. That is why I like to get the weekly views. Either like the hourly layout is really nice for therapists, or the horizontal layout that they have, which is nice because there's just a lot of space there to write your patient list if you need to, or your appointments for that day. And there's even like a blank space on the side that I put like my driving hours, or did I do my mileage for that day? Did I do my notes for that day? So I can do like a little tracker. But anywho, the month at a glance is where I put my bills. So this is not where I put holidays, appointments, or anything like that. I'll show you where I put that. But this is just where I put kind of my bills. So on this side, I am going to total them up so that I can see. And then my paydays, I'll put like what I get paid. And that way I can see at the bottom, like what did I get paid versus what were my expenses. So this is just like bill due dates. And then I'll go in and fill in the totals after. I do have a little sticker pack that had some March green colored, kind of St. Patty's Day vibe. So I did use those stickers to fill in the dashboard page along with the grid page with the tracker on the side. So let's go ahead and do this together. So I'm going to see like what habits do I want to track this month, and also what are my personal goals or intentions, work, health, and to-dos that are just kind of like I need to write them down and get done. So let's do that together. So I have these Micron pens that I really, really like. So let's use these. And there's just something about pens. Like if you are a planner person, a stationary person, like you know what I'm talking about. Micron. These are great. Got them on Amazon. So personal. Let's see. Thinking, what do I want to personally focus on this month? I did not really do so well with the boundaries with the cell phone. So I'm thinking I'm going to put that here and put maybe to really utilize that timer on your phone that reminds you like, hey, you have so many minutes left on your social media today or whatever. I'm going to write utilize phone timers for social media and just monitor, I'm going to put that in parentheses, monitor amount of time on phone. You can get as detailed here as you want, or just put bullet points. I'm not usually that detailed, but I feel like that's a good focal point for the month personally. So with that being said, I do want to continue to carry into the month, getting outside more, just making sure that I get fresh air. Especially I was very vitamin D deficient last year because like I said, like when the summers come, I just don't want to be outside at all. I just think it's so miserable. So I was super vitamin D deficient. So I really try and monitor that now and make sure I get like 10 minutes of sunshine a day. So I think I do want to continue with more time outside. Let's see, I also had slow mornings last time. I can also put more time outside in the health area, which I might do that. Let's put one mental health thing. I think that'll be good. So whether that's gratitude journaling, whether that's meditating, whatever feels good for me that day, just picking one thing that I can focus on and trying to get rid of that all or nothing mindset. So let's put, I'm going to be more detailed this time and I'm going to put no all or nothing mindset. Pick one thing to do daily. And that could even be like a bath that day or something. So I'm just going to kind of leave that open and not be so specific. So for work, I do want to, like I said, organize my electronic medical record system that we use. So I'm just going to put that here, and that's going to be the calendar view. And I also need to submit 3 of those AAC applications. And I put AAA, whoopsie. And then I also need to have my PowerPoint for my presentation done. So I'm going to put PowerPoint rough draft. All right. So usually like 2 or 3 things I think in each area is good, or one thing, or whatever feels good for you that month, right? Like I think it's really important to find balance and not be so hard on yourself and like, I have to do all these things. I have to be in this grind mindset, right? Like it's not helpful. So I think really just giving yourself grace, and maybe even if you pick one thing and in one area of your life or whatever, right? Like life ebbs and flows, and we can have this conversation forever. But I feel like sometimes when I see what other people are doing and I'm like, oh my gosh, they have so many goals, or they're focusing on so many things, like that can be overwhelming from a viewer perspective. But I think, monitoring and honoring what feels good for you. That's just focusing on one thing in your life, or one thing in each area of your life, or whatever is front and center in your season, right? Like in different seasons of your life. different things are going to be front and center. So right now I'm in a season where I really feel like I can step back and look at things and compartmentalize things a little bit and be like, okay, I want to focus a little bit here and give a little bit here and a little bit here, versus there have been times in my life where I need to put all my energy into my mental health, or all my energy into my physical health, all my energy into my relationship health, all my energy in my spiritual life, right? Whatever that is. So what season are you in? I think that's also like a good reflection question to ask before you sit down to do something like this. For health, yoga, yay, I'm so excited. So we're gonna try and get to yoga 2 times a week. And that doesn't necessarily have to be, in the past I've been like power yoga, vinyasa all the way. I actually have signed up for a yin and meditation class this coming Sunday. So whatever it looks like to get on my mat, that's going to be my hope. 2 times a week I want to get on my mat. Whether I'm sitting in my mat in Shavasana the entire time, whether I'm just contemplating life, I don't know, just be on my mat. And then sunshine daily. So whatever that looks like, 10 minutes minimum, I think is pretty good. So that's it. I've got a couple things there. To-dos, big to-dos off the top of my head right now. I don't know. I am going to be finishing rolling out my Disney series that the vacation that I just came back from. So I'm going to finish Disney series on the vlog. I think I talked about organizing my car, right? Organize work items in car and organize office closet. Okay. And while we're talking books, I don't have like a goal for books monthly. I have a kind of a general goal for the year. I read 18 last year. I want to read at least 20 this year is kind of my goal, which is going pretty well right now. We'll talk TBR in a second if I can even think, because right now I'm just kind of like, what's the vibe? What am I feeling like? I've honestly read, like, I think every book that I listed right now that I read in February wasn't even on my TBR if you watched my TBR for the entire year of 2024. So, just going with whatever feels good. Habits, let's see. I definitely do want to track. We're going to put meditation / journaling. So it's one or the other. And for the grid, like, you can put, if maybe you want to do it, there's 31 days in the month, you can put 31 boxes, or if you want to do it 10 days out of that month or whatever, you can put that, but I just kind of put like 30 boxes in each one. A little lazy this time. I'm also going to put move your body. That will be one habit I track. We'll track sunshine and we will track reading, right? So maybe you're tracking your water intake, maybe you're tracking your sleep. So many things you can track, right? So there we go. I think that's good. Oh, you know what else I'm going to put in health? I have been counting my calories. Yay, so fun. But if you are on a weight loss journey, you know that you have to be in a calorie deficit. There's really no way around it. So I'm going to continue to track calories and really protein intake, right? I'm trying to have a mindset right now. What can I add versus what I can take away? So, all right, I think we are good with the dashboard setup and the grid. I'm feeling really good about March. I'm excited to jump into the new month. I hope that this brings you some motivation to do the same. Let's do a little kind of, what am I thinking I want to read? Let's go to my shelf and see, like, what am I thinking I want to read for the month? Let's see, I kinda am in my thriller era, so I'm thinking, like, I picked this up like a year and a half ago. I'm like, I really would like to read Sarah Pierce's The Sanatorium. Let's see if I can get a better view, I'm so short. First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston. I'm definitely thinking I want to read that as well. I started Starling House, put it down, sometimes that happens. I also started All Good People Here. I put that down too, so maybe I'll finish All Good People Here too as well and kind of keep on the thriller, but that's kind of where my mindset is right now. I'm also listening to A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. So I'll be listening to that on Audible and then reading it and kind of switching back and forth. All right, guys, so if you stuck with me this long, I hope that this inspired you to maybe look at what you accomplished in February, even if it may feel very small to you. Give yourself credit where credit is due. If all you did was survive this month, I'm proud of you. I hope this also inspired you to get prepped for the new month and really just dig deep and see what are some things that you want to focus on, what might make you feel good in the coming month as we enter spring, weather changes and things like that. What do you want to focus on? Pull out your planners, do something that makes you feel good, do something that makes you feel grounded. And if you have not already, subscribe, hit the thumbs up. It really helps me out, and stick around. I do plan to do monthly plan with me's, and like I said, maybe even start to incorporate some monthly resets or weekly resets and things like that. Other than that, guys, this has been so fun, a lot chattier than I anticipated it being, but I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.